Today's topic is failure and why you need failure to be successful. Failure is kind of like the launch pad to your success, and it helps you navigate your route a little bit better when you are trying to be successful. You look back at all your failures and you decide, that's what I did wrong the first time. Let me not go that route this time. Let me go an easier route where I have more chance of succeeding than I do failing. My name is Adelisa. Welcome back to my channel. We are talking about failure today. I focus on self-development, and I know that failure is a big part of self-development because when we are trying to develop ourselves in the best possible way, we're going to fail so much. Failure sounds negative, but there is duality to failure. There is positive sides to failure, and you need failure to succeed. You need failure to kind of help you build a better roadmap for the second time around. You need your failures to be able to look back on and decide, like, what did I do wrong? What did I do right? Your failures are always going to be there to help you, and your failures are going to be the ones that actually help you build the character that you need to build to show that you're not a quitter and to show that you are going to keep showing up for yourself regardless of how many times you fucking fail. We are human beings. Failure is normal. Failure is a part of the process. Failure is something that we all have to go through when we are trying to succeed and change our lives because we're taking a route that we've never taken before. We're going a direction that we've never taken before. So naturally, we are going to fall. But the difference between you and most of the rest of the population is that when you fall and when you fail, you're going to get up and keep going. You're not going to let anybody tear you down. You're not going to let yourself tear yourself down because our mind is our biggest fucking enemy. We are the ones that are fully in control of our thoughts, and we need to not let the failures define who we are. Failure is a natural part of the learning process that we all have to go through. Without failure, there aren't wins. In life, there's always going to be duality to all the negative and all the good. If there is success, there's going to be failure. Any successful person that you know has failed so many times, but in comparison to other people that have failed and given up, they're the ones that kept going and they kept striving for what they wanted to achieve, regardless of how many fucking times they have failed. I'm somebody who likes to take risks, and I'm somebody who likes to learn from my mistakes. I know that I can look back on them in a logical way and see what I learned from them and see what I don't need to be repeating. The time that you really start failing is when you keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again and then wondering why nothing is changing. And it's because you're not looking yourself in the mirror and being honest with yourself about where your failures are and why you keep running into those failures. Sometimes failure is a comfortable place for people. Sometimes people enjoy that self-fulfilled prophecy of failing. They tell themselves that I knew I was going to fail. I knew I wasn't going to accomplish this. Why am I even trying? And that is the worst way to approach anything in your life. You are not supposed to look at things like, I knew I was going to fail. I knew I wasn't good enough. Instead, you need to look at things from a different lens. You have to look at things from a more positive perspective, even though it was a negative lesson. If you have failed, you can look at it, at least I tried. At least I tried my best. At least I did what I could. You don't have to look at a situation like, I didn't know what I was doing. I knew that I was going to fail. I knew I wasn't going to be good. I knew that I would suck. You need to look at situations as learning experiences. This is all of our first go-arounds on Earth. We are all here as human beings. This is our first trip, supposedly. I don't know, I kind of think that I've been here a lot and I'm tired. But this is our first try in this life. This is our first try in this body. This is our first try with this mind. You have to give yourself some grace for your failure and lift yourself back up after you do fail. There's no reason to stay in a failure mindset because you failed one time. If failure makes you scared, if failure is the thing that's holding you back, if you are scared to try something because you are scared to fail, then you are never going to get to do anything in your entire life because everyone fails in their first try. Maybe there's some person who magically had the powers to be good at something on the first try, but everybody fails on the first try. And maybe the second try you come back and you are so much better, but you wouldn't know that if you stopped after the first try and if you just gave up on yourself after the first try. That's why you always have to keep going. That's why you can't let one failure determine exactly how your future is going to be laid out. You need to continue going and seeing if this is really the direction that you want to go. And if it's not, that's okay. It's okay to change direction. It's okay to go from one failure and then go to a completely different one where you're trying to learn something else. And you are going to fail again, like I said. We all fail when we first try something new, but that doesn't mean that we should be giving up. We should keep going after something that we really want to go after. And if we see ourselves fully doing that and we see that as our purpose, we need to keep going after the shit that we want to do with our lives. I had a failure of starting a YouTube channel. I had a failure of making content online. And for the most part, that wasn't even a fear of failure. That was a fear that other people put on me about what I wanted to do with my life. And that's another reason why you can't let other people influence you or your own feelings influence you on why you should give up and why you shouldn't go after what you want to go after. Failure should not be your excuse for why you're not doing what you want to do. Failure should be your reason because you know that if you failed, you tried. and you got up and you kept going and you learned and you evolved, because that's part of the human experience. We are here to learn, we are here to grow, we are not here to get things right in the first try. We are here to experience life, the ups and the downs. There's duality in all of this. With failure, there's success. All those times that you spend failing, you are learning from a new level, from a new experience. You are learning from a new stepping stone. So you failed on level 1 the first try. Of course you did. That's level 1. You are going to fail at level 1. Then you go to level 2, maybe you get up to 3, then you fail again, but you're like, you see the success is adding up. You see that you are capable of getting past these levels and getting to where you want to go. Where would you be if you stopped at level 1? You wouldn't be at level 3. You would still be at level 1, and you probably would have just completely gave up on the entire game of life. There's no reason that you need to be pushing aside whatever you want to do just because you're scared of failing. Failure will always make you bounce back like you never failed before. Every time you fail, it doesn't hurt as bad as the first time you failed. The first time you failed, you took a tumble. You took a big ass fall and that shit hurt. I get it, I've been there. But then the second time, you're like, oh, that was just a little scrape. Third time, it was a stumble. Fourth time, it was a little trip. Fifth time, you're jogging. You're not stopping, you're not dropping to the ground, you're picking yourself up. You know exactly which potholes to avoid to not fail again. So now you're on a light stride to success in the things that you want to do. You failed X amount of times, but if you almost gave up on level 5, you would have never reached level 10, even though the universe has always laid out level 10 for you. It's been waiting for you. You already reached level 10 in another dimension. This dimension is just trying to help you catch up. This might seem like such a positive take on failure, but with failure, you're going to learn more about the growth mindset, and you're going to learn more about how you are so capable of anything you set your mind to, because you were able to make it past the lowest low. You were able to make it past the time where you were by yourself in that dark hole. You got yourself up. Nobody else's responsibility is to get you up, but you got yourself up and you kept fucking going. And that is almost the purpose of why we're here, to keep going and keep showing up for ourselves and keep striving for the things that we want to do in our lives. We're not supposed to give up on the fucking first try. The first try is just the first try. You're gonna have 10 more tries after that, and you're gonna keep getting better and better every single time. You have to keep going though. You can't just stop it the first time you fall. You have to keep going until you start stumbling, and you have a light stride, and then you're jogging, you're running. You're almost there to the big trophy that you wanted to always achieve. So you have to keep going. There's a point in your failures that you decide to completely switch your mindset, and you decide to look at them in a way that they are a learning curve. They are not failure. That doesn't mean that you're not good at something. It is just a moment of learning. It is a moment that you are now the student and something else is the teacher, and that is okay. It's always important to remain the student in life and to keep learning and growing. You're not gonna get shit right in the first time. That is okay. That is totally fine. Don't feel embarrassed because you are starting out new or feeling like you're too late to doing something. There's no such thing as too late. There's no such thing as you waited too long. There's no such thing as it's not the perfect timing, because everything works out the way it's supposed to work out. And if you were supposed to be successful and hit all those milestones that you're supposed to hit, you're gonna hit them regardless. If you're failing often, maybe you just need to readjust the goals that you are setting for yourself. Maybe some of the goals at this moment in your life are just a little too high. It doesn't mean they're not attainable, but the goals that you need to set to hit those big milestones just need to be shrunk down like a tiny bit so you can get those little wins that can keep you going. If you have a goal of waking up 5 a.m. every single day, running, working out, etc., you need to try to break those down to smaller goals and not try to overwhelm yourself with too many fucking things, and then all of a sudden you fail at every single fucking thing like a domino. Instead, set smaller goals for yourself, so then that way when you achieve those smaller goals, you're like, okay, see, I knew I could do this shit. Then you add another goal on top of that, and then you add another goal on top of that. Eventually, all these goals add up into the step that you need to get to the next goal. All of them come together. There's no reason that you should overwhelm yourself with 50 different goals and then feel like you failed 50 different times. Even though I know for a fact that you can hit 10 goals and then hit 10 goals 4 times, and that's 40 goals. There's no reason to clump it all together when you can manage all your goals in a micro way and attain them that way. All the times that you have failed are going to turn into motivation for yourself. At least that's what has happened to me. All the times that I have failed, I have showed myself resilience, and I've showed that I know how to get up and I know how to keep going no matter what the world throws at me. A lot of people doubt me, a lot of people underestimate me, and I even doubted myself and I even underestimated myself. But what happens is I have taken that power back into myself, and I have said, I am the shit. I can do anything I set my mind to, and I will continue to do all the things I set my mind to, no matter what I tell myself or no matter what anybody else tells myself. I am my own motivation based on my failures. My failures motivate me. My failures are not things that I look at as my negative traits. My failures are stepping stones that I took to my success. I had to fail a little bit to start succeeding a little bit. I had to learn and get better at doing whatever I was doing to get a little bit better. Some things I sucked at, and that's okay. I'm glad that I got the experience in life to do whatever I did, even if I continue to fail, because that's what life's about. Life is about experiences. If you're not failing, you're probably not experiencing enough. You're probably staying too close to your comfort zone. You're too scared to just take one step out. Outside of your comfort zone is where you will find the success that you want to find in your life. You need to take one step, take a half a step out of your comfort zone, and you will see that there's so much growth that you need to attain in taking that one step out of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is your comfort zone for a reason. You're not supposed to stay there forever. You're supposed to always grow and expand and learn and get uncomfortable. The times where you are uncomfortable is the times you're going to experience the most growth in your life. You're going to look back on that silly little thing that you were too scared to do, and you're going to realize, wow, I should have done that fucking sooner. I should have taken the dive, taken the jump, taken the leap, whatever it was, way sooner than I did, because looking back now, that shit was nothing. You're just gonna keep growing and evolving and feeling more confident in all the shit that you are capable of doing. You don't need to stop when you fail. You need to keep going. You need to keep taking those strides. On the outside, when people look at you, they think that all the wins that you're making are really small wins, but you know inside that those small victories actually mean so much to you. And that's actually something I'm gonna talk about in my next video. We're gonna be talking about our silent battles that we go through, because a lot of people don't actually see all the small wins that we get ourselves, all the trophies that we collect ourselves, all the trials and tribulations that we go through ourselves, because people don't really know us on that deeper level. People don't understand us on that deeper level. All those small wins and all those small victories that you make in silence on your own, all those small trophies that you win on your own are gonna add up to the big wins. It's kind of like when you are in a race and all that people see is you at the finish line and they're cheering you on. You finally won the race, you were number one, but they didn't see all the shit that you had to go through to be number one. And they also did not cheer you on the whole time that you were racing and getting ready for that race. They were not there. They were only there at the finish line. So take that how you will. There's a lot of people that are only waiting for you to become number one. But you on your own, you need to acknowledge all the little wins that you are making by yourself. You're the only one that's gonna be pushing yourself through all those failures, but you're also the only one that's gonna be cheering yourself on for those small victories. Nobody else is gonna be there for those tiny battles and those tiny wins. They're just gonna see the finish line. They're gonna see you running across this first place. They won't see all the things that you went through. So learn how to encourage yourself and cheer yourself on, even with how tiny you might think that those wins are. They're not tiny. All the small shit that you're doing is adding to this big battle that you're gonna be going into. All the small shit that you've done for yourself have been really big wins. Just because other people don't recognize what you went through and just because people don't even know what you've gone through, that doesn't mean that you didn't go through those things for yourself, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't cheer yourself on. You need to be your number one fan, even through all your failures, because through all your failures, through all your big ass wins, and through all your wins is all the success that you always fucking wanted to have. And with all that said, I know that you are capable of reaching the success that you want. I know that even through all your failures, you're still gonna get your ass up, and I know for a fact that you are still gonna keep going, because if I can get through some bullshit, then I know that your ass can too. That's just something that I fully believe in, because I know that a lot of people are going through much worse situations than you while you're sitting here watching a video, and I know that this might help get you off your ass and make you feel like you are fucking capable, because you are capable. All of us with the human spirit are fucking capable of anything and everything that we set our minds to. No matter what the naysayers fucking say, you are the shit and you will succeed in whatever you put your fucking heart and soul into. So if you like the content that I'm making lately, I hope that you guys subscribe and follow along this journey of self-growth and personal development. To me, this is my greater purpose. And for me, my greater purpose is growing as a human being, evolving as a human being, becoming the best version of myself. And I hope that I can push that message on whoever's watching, even if there's 10 of you. I hope that 10 of you succeed in everything that you can do. I hope that 10 of you know that you can get up. And I hope that 10 of you know that your failures do not define you. They are the keys to your success.